Hi everyone, and welcome to More Than Skin Deep. This is just a place where we learn to be a better and less stressed out version of ourselves. So today we are going to tackle the Thanksgiving planning process. So I've made myself some notes just so that I don't get distracted. So first of all, the question that you want to ask yourself is, are you hosting or are you going to somebody else's house? Because obviously that is going to change the whole dynamic of your planning process. So for myself this year, we are not hosting Thanksgiving, we're hosting Christmas. So I don't need to be as concerned about the little details because it's not going to be at my house this year. So what I'm going to do is kind of go based off what I've done in the past and kind of what I do for Christmas to help you plan your Thanksgiving process in advance so that you're not as stressed out. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the meal plan. And that can get so crazy, and once you figure that out, it's just like this weight is lifted off of you and you can kind of move forward from that. But most importantly, what I wanted to talk about in that process is just keep it simple. You know, with Pinterest and the internet, there are so many ways that you can add extra stress to yourself in the planning process. There's so many recipes out there and, you know, so many different ways that you can do things. But quite honestly, it's not what it's about. And if you're adding all of the stress to yourself, trying to come up with these fancy recipes and, you know, recipes that have just all kinds of ingredients that you're never going to use again until the following Thanksgiving or Christmas, it's just not worth it. And quite honestly, it's more expensive. What people are looking for are the recipes that you do year after year, that you look forward to making, that people look forward to eating. So just keep it simple. Don't add the extra stress to yourself to try to make this meal just extravagant. And, you know, what it does is, first of all, you kind of start to lose sight of what this day actually is because you're so stressed out. It becomes a burden, and so you don't look forward to it and you don't enjoy it. And also, in keeping it simple, if you have people who are coming to your home and bringing food, if they know that you're going to be making all of these extravagant recipes and side dishes and whatever, then it kind of makes them feel like they have to do the same thing to keep up with you. And it's really not fair to them either, because then it causes not only stress on yourself, but then you're causing stress, extra stress on other people as well. Appreciate the fact that you have food on your table, that you have family and friends around your table to celebrate with, and it'll just be so much better, I promise. So once you figure out what your menu is, I go down the list and I decide, okay, what are the appetizers going to be? What are the side dishes, the main menu, like your main dishes, turkey, whatever you do. And then what are the desserts and what are the drinks that you are going to be serving. And then once you get that in place, then what you want to do is look at the people who are coming and decide what you want to actually prepare yourself and what you want them to prepare and bring as well. If money is really, really tight for you, then that's a great way to just kind of divvy out, you know, who is bringing what. Even if you have people staying with you, it's okay to ask them to, you know, go to the grocery store. Would you guys mind making this? Because then they can purchase the ingredients for that particular dish, and it kind of takes, you know, the financial stress off of you as well. So do not be afraid to ask people for help. And even if you're not in a financial bind, don't be afraid to ask people for help. They want to help. And a lot of times, you know, when I have not asked people for help, I still get text messages. Hey, what can I bring? What can I do? You know, people want to help you, so just let them. And I know it's hard. For me, it's really hard, but I'm telling you, when I allow that to happen, it's so much better. They feel like they're participating, and I don't feel like I'm having to do 10,000 things, before they get there. Once you get your menu made, then what you want to do is look at the things that you are in charge of. And you want to make a grocery list of absolutely everything that you need for every single one of the dishes that you are making. Even if it's things that you have in your pantry and you know that, still write it on your list, because what you're going to do before you order your groceries or go to the grocery store is you're going to go through your menu, or your grocery list, I'm sorry, and look at everything that's on there, and you're just going to mark off the things that you already have in your pantry. But by placing every single thing on your list, you're not getting down to the point where you are a day before Thanksgiving or the morning of Thanksgiving and you're like just frantic because, oh my goodness, I forgot blank. And then you are in a mad rush. You're adding stress to yourself. You're adding stress to those who are in your home. And it's just not worth it, because it's not necessary, because by planning in advance, you totally eliminate situations like that. Because you're allowing yourself time to think and, remember, and driving down the road to get your kids from school. Oh yeah, I need to write this down because I forgot I was going to do this. It's just so much better than trying to do it flying by the seat of your pants. So make your grocery list, write everything down on it that you need, and then go through your pantry and look at the things that you currently have and mark those off. Look at your spices. A lot of people don't realize that spices actually expire. So if you have spices in your cupboard that you have not replaced in, say, a year, just throw those out and replace them, because you're not adding flavor to your meal. You're basically just adding dirt to your meal. So go ahead, throw those out, and make sure that they're on your list to replace. And with having all of these things on your shopping list now, it's a much easier way to be able to plan and grocery shop in advance. So what I will do is I will write everything on one side that is non-perishable and everything on another side that is perishable. And that way, starting right now, when grocery stores are putting pumpkin on sale, they're putting, pie crusts on sale, they're putting spices on sale, potatoes, if you're one that, does the boxed version, chicken broth, beef broth, things like that you can stock up on right now and save until, you need them to cook. And what I will do is, a lot of our recipes are the same for Thanksgiving as they are for Christmas. So I will actually make my menu for both of them at the same time. That way I can grocery plan accordingly, and I can look for sales that come out for broth, for mushroom soup, for whatever. And when it comes out, I know, okay, so I need this amount for Thanksgiving and I need this amount for Christmas. And even if I'm not purchasing it in the same grocery trip, I can kind of plan it out to where I am not buying just a huge food haul the week before Thanksgiving or the week before Christmas, because it's expensive. Adding the extra food and the extra expense to your budget is, it can be a real burden for people. And so the more that you can plan out and the more that you can look for as it goes on sale and just kind of stockpile it until you need it, then the more at ease you will feel, just on a personal level and, on a financial level. You're going to carry your list around in your purse all the time from now until, the end. And you can be looking for those things. Even if you're at a grocery store or you're at Target and you see, oh, they have that on sale. Oh, I know that's on my list. I know I need to get that. Let me grab a couple now so that I'm not having to grab 10 later. So that's my tip for your grocery list and grocery shopping. is just put absolutely everything on there that you're going to buy. That way you can plan accordingly and watch for sales, and it's not, you know, as big of a deal financially for you. The other thing that I do, I just kind of made a mock one to show you of my kind of how I do this typically. So I do this for Thanksgiving and I do this for Christmas, but obviously this Thanksgiving I'm not going to be worrying about it. But I just print off a November calendar, and I made this one myself, but you can go on Google and, you know, look November calendar and print yourself off one. And what I do is I plan how I want to do everything, when I want to do it. That way I'm not flying by the seat of my pants and deciding, okay, you know, oh my goodness, today I have to do this, and, you know, you're not rushed, you're not worried. You know exactly what you have to do by these specific times. So for instance, Thanksgiving is on the 23rd. So on the week before, or 2 weeks before rather, just depending on where you get it from, some places are different. They don't let you order that far in advance if you're ordering a turkey or a ham or whatever it is that your family does for the holiday. But I always try to do it 2 weeks in advance. That way I know for sure I'm getting my order in. I'm not doing anything last minute. I'm not missing a deadline or whatever the case may be. So on the 13th, I would order my turkey. On the 17th, I would order my groceries, or start to order my groceries. I order all of my groceries online. Just eliminating the grocery store process has been huge for me. So what I would do is I would order my groceries on the 17th. I would start that process, get everything on there that I know. That way, that kind of gives me through the weekend to come up with things that I may have forgot or that I may have decided to add or whatever the case. And then I would finalize it on that Sunday before. And then schedule my groceries to be picked up on the Monday before Thanksgiving, as well as any other errands that I need to do. And that way, that one day is set aside to not be at the house, to be running errands, to get everything tackled. That way I have the whole entire rest of the week to be at the house doing what I need to do there, and not have to be running back and forth. So on the 21st, I would do my house cleaning, just kind of go through, you know, make sure that if you're having people stay with you, that all of your bedding is clean, that the beds are made, that those bathrooms that they're going to be using have been cleaned, that there's clean towels to go in there for them, and what have you. Just kind of go through, dust, wipe things off, you know, obviously whatever your cleaning routine is. And then on the 22nd is when I would start my meal prep. I would start making things in advance that I don't necessarily have to make the morning of Thanksgiving, just to kind of eliminate some of the work that needs to be done on that day. If there's casseroles that you can make in advance and then just warm up on that day, I would say for sure go ahead and tackle that. I always make my pies the day before. That way I don't, you know, have that extra stress and extra mess on that morning. And so the day before Thanksgiving, whatever you can make, go ahead and do so. And then obviously Thanksgiving Day, and that's when you're going to kind of be doing, you know, the last minute prep, food-wise and all of that. So that's kind of how I schedule out that week. As I get closer to Thanksgiving, what I will do is I put this in my planner. This is something that I made myself, but again, you can make your own. You can go on Etsy. They have all kinds of formats like this. You can write it down in a spiral notebook. You know, it really doesn't matter. But what I do is I just kind of write down and try to vision what I want the day to look like. In the morning, I am a huge watcher of the Macys Thanksgiving Day Parade. My family could care less, which is sad, but they just don't. They don't really get into it. But I love watching it. So I would write that down on there. And, you know, if you don't do Thanksgiving dinner until later in the day, and you're doing like a breakfast or whatever, especially if you have people staying with you, then I would write that down there and write what you're gonna have so that, again, you know what you have to purchase from the grocery store and what you can be watching out for. And then during the day and the night, kind of what your plan is for that day. Are you football watchers? In our house, we watch football. And so, you know, do you plan on watching a specific game? Is it even going to be on a channel that you have in your house, or are you going to have to schedule to go to somebody else's house to watch the game, or somewhere else, you know, what have you? Are you going to play games? You know, what games do you want to play? Do you own those games? Do you need to purchase those games or borrow those games from somebody else? And then write it down. The more that you plan out your entire day and know exactly what you want from start to finish, the less guessing and frantic scurrying around you're going to encounter. Plus, for me, it's a huge brain dump. And so I don't have to try to remember, oh my goodness, okay, I have to have this, I have to get that, I have to do this, whatever the case, because I already have it in one space that I can look back and know exactly what we're going to be doing. There's no question, there's no guessing, and it's just easier that way. So I write that down, and then as I get closer to Thanksgiving Day, what I will do is I will write down on a sheet the different items that I have to bring, or that I have to take, or that people are bringing to my house, whatever the case. And then I will write down who's bringing, whether it's myself or someone else. Does it need to go in the oven? And if so, how much time does it need to cook? Because that way I can plan accordingly to have my things in the oven, but then be able to accommodate others that might be coming, needing to have them warmed up, or, you know, whatever. And that way we're not all fighting for the oven at the same time, or the stove, or the microwave, or whatever. Also, again, back to thinking about everything, what you're also going to want to think about is, how are you serving all of your dishes? Are you eating on china? Are you eating on regular dishes that you use during the week? Are you doing paper or plastic? Which is totally fine too. They have extremely pretty paper or plastic dishes now that you can purchase. If you want to totally eliminate all of that washing and crazy business, then, you know, that's perfectly fine. But make sure that you know exactly what you need: dishes, napkins, silverware. Do you have linens that you use? Make sure that you have all of that in place and that it will be ready, you know, on that day. Do you have enough serving dishes for the things that not only you are preparing yourself, or for other people that might be bringing things that don't have a dish to put it in, or need to prepare it once they get it to your house and then put it in a dish? Just make sure that you have, you know, the amount of serveware that you need for your meal. As we get closer to the day, I'll be doing different videos here and there. I will also be doing a lot of kind of Christmas videos and gift ideas, how I plan my Christmas, how I start planning Christmas right now, so that I am, Lord willing, finished by the day before Thanksgiving. I don't like doing anything after Thanksgiving really gift related, unless it's like little things, but not my main bulk of my Christmas gift purchasing. I like to get all that done before the crazy hits, just because, again, it just adds to the stress, and before you know it, Christmas is gone. So the more that you can plan for that in advance, the much easier it's going to be, and the more enjoyable your Christmas is going to be for you and for everyone involved. So watch for new videos, subscribe to this channel if these are things that you feel are something that, you know, would benefit you, would benefit your family, would benefit friends. I'm going to leave this video like I'm going to leave every single video here. Take care of yourself so that you can take care of those around you. And most importantly, be kind. Kindness is free, so give it to everyone. Bye, guys.